Hey everybody, welcome back to another Joe Wednesday. I'm your host Joe. How's it going? What's new? Well, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is Ashley has got a promotion. Yay! Congratulations! Way to go. The bad news is, so that kind of makes her with the promotion and the raise and all that. That makes her the breadwinner of the family. So, unfortunately, that means this channel is gonna kind of get repossessed a little bit. So this is no longer just JHaubz's Joe Wednesday. This is now Joe Wednesday, sponsored by at JHaubz LLC or something like that. So unfortunately, I'm gonna need to start to get like script approval for the things I'm talking about. There's gonna be a lot of changes around here, unfortunately. So yeah, that's the bad news. But for my loyal fans, I want to talk to you at camera too, real quick. Hey guys, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for your loyal support over all these years or weeks or months or whatever. I really appreciate you guys really following me and supporting me and all that. Wait, what? What do you mean? Check my paychecks? Wait, I'm still the breadwinner. Oh, okay. Well, never mind about that, guys. So never mind. There's no bad news. And it actually wasn't bad news in the first place. So, sincerely though, joking aside, Ashley, congratulations, good job. It sounded to me the way she described it that it's really actually not so much a promotion as much as it was like UD was like doing some sort of like research or just relooking at like their current pay levels for certain jobs. And given Ashley's current work that she's currently doing, she actually either fell into a different tier or category, or it needed to be paid more than what she was currently getting. So it doesn't sound like there's really going to be any change in position or job or responsibilities right now, but she is going to be paid significantly more than what she was getting, which is yay, cool. But I did kind of have to laugh when she initially told me that information, because I was just like, wow, you're making more than me now. But I haven't really looked that closely at my pay stubs within the last year or two. So like I have them, but I'm like, okay, money's coming in, money's going out. I don't really have to worry about like the overall number. So when I checked how much I was actually making, I was like, oh wait, no, I didn't even know I was still the breadwinner, and you just got this massive raise. All right, great. So I guess, and in the end, it's like be very thankful that I'm in a position and I have the means where I don't have to worry about my day to day changing because I have to worry about pay. So I mean, like I'm very thankful and fortunate to be in that kind of position. So, but congrats, Ashley. You definitely earned it and deserve it because we know how much you're doing. So yeah, good job. Let's see. Something else that came up. So Lydia had another weird weekend. And with like Ashley and I were kind of trying to talk about it, seeing if there were any like patterns that we were noticing or changes to stuff. Um, we're kind of suspecting that it's mostly just the food that we were giving her, because we went out to get some pho, however you spell it. So we got some pho 2 weeks ago that we gave her some Friday. And then this weekend, when we found out about Ashley's pay raise and all that stuff, we were like, well, let's celebrate with something. What do you want to do? And we ended up getting some Five Guys and shared that with Lydia. And so, if there's any sort of connection with the food that she's eating, and like all the food intolerances that she has, just kind of she reacts to things differently now, because she doesn't really get like the constipated she used to get when she was younger, but like it definitely upsets her stomach. So, and she definitely lets us know in other ways. um, but it just kind of generated this funny bit that Ashley wanted me to share with you guys, and I don't I don't really know how to bring any other context to it than that. But there's this no drama discipline book that I was reading maybe a couple weeks ago, months ago. Um, and like one of the kind of funny tidbits that I took out of it was that, like, you as a parent, you need to know that you win you win the scenarios, like whatever, wherever you are here at A getting to B, like you are going to get what you want, whether it's like you want the baby sleeping, you want the baby eating, you want the, or you're going to a certain place or doing a certain thing. Like, if you can keep in mind that you're going to get your objective resolved and keep that in mind, you don't have to worry about how to get from A to B. But the getting from A to B sucks sometimes. It can be super chaotic, and the child can, well, may not, cooperate with anything you're saying or anything you're asking him to do or whatnot. But in the end, the goal will be achieved. So if you can just try to keep yourself on this like overarching theme between A and B, just knowing that you're gonna get there, you're gonna get where you want, and just you can just like ignore all the random chaos. Now, I can say that I don't know how to do that in the slightest because I get so wrapped up in the up and down of it all. But Ashley thought that was pretty entertaining with how I was describing it the other day to her. Um, so yeah. So hey, in other news, unfortunately, I had to take my car into the shop today. Sometime last week, I found a good puddle of oil underneath the passenger side front wheel. So we're gonna have to figure out where that's coming from. Unfortunately, I took it to the mechanic today, and they said they didn't see anything leaking out. They couldn't figure out where it was coming from, which sucks. But what they did do is they said they added some dye into the oil that will mix into it as I drive the car. They told me like drive at least 100 miles over the next week and bring it back in. And apparently, like this dye will leave like a residue from wherever it's leaking from. It'll leave a residue that will show up under an ultraviolet light. So unfortunately, weren't able to just take it in and fix it, but at least they'll be able to hopefully find where the leak is coming from after the next week. So hopefully that'll get fixed eventually, but it's just kind of frustrating that it didn't get sorted out right away. But what can you do? A buddy of mine was actually watching some of the videos I had put out on Final Fantasy 14, and we were talking about it and gave me some really good feedback. Because one of the things that he was asking me about, that, or at least the conversation led me to kind of think about this myself, was like why I played the video games and like what kind of things that I'm liking about them, and then that would extend to what he was asking me about how I wanted to portray the playthroughs that I was doing. Is like, am I trying to show like the mechanics of the game? Am I trying to show like the overall story of the game, or am I trying to put like a player's experience through the game? What am I trying to achieve? And those were really really good questions that got me thinking about different stuff. But one of the things that I mostly was thinking about was like what are certain things that I like about games that really get me to play them, and so like, so I really like the mechanics of a game. I mean, obviously if they're fun to do, but like I get really into like the strategy of a game. I mean, the obvious example that always comes to mind when I'm thinking of this is Final Fantasy Tactics, because like you have characters on a grid, you have classes you can assign them that have different moves and abilities you can assign to them, all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of variability that you can put into each character, and then once you have that variability, you're put on this grid and you fight opponents that may have different builds and all that kind of stuff. But like I get like really like down into the details of a game, like figure out how to like most efficiently play it, and most efficiently, like if it's a fighting game like Tactics, is like, okay, how can I most efficiently level up my characters, defeat my opponents, all this kind of stuff, get the items that I'm wanting, all this kind of stuff, all these different like achievements and all these different goals I can like. I like getting to those goals or something like that, or I like trying to like tweak how I play the game, because like if you think about Tactics combat system, it's like you move this character to a certain space that's next to another character, and then you fight each other, or you have a spell caster in a distance casting a spell or something like that. But like I developed ways where like you can kite your opponent, just kind of like if you move one step farther away than what that monster can move, he'll only move a space instead of moving all the way up to you, because he can't get you here. So I just like those are things that I just like figure out as I'm playing. Like I just get into like the like almost like a meta strategy of how to play the game instead of just like a straightforward strategy. Um, so yeah, so those are like the strategies of the game are one thing, and then I think my sister asked me one time like what kind of things I like about the games, and like particularly with the RPGs, like I really enjoy the stories of them. And I know a lot of players that don't like because they'll skip cutscenes and they'll like skip over dialogue or whatnot. They'll just mash A as fast as they can to get through it, right? But for me, like I've never really enjoyed sitting down and reading a book, but I feel like RPG stories, like with gameplay, is kind of my way of reading a book. Um, because like I do like the stories. I like character development. I like all that kind of stuff, and I guess with like a game versus a book, you have a little more of a hand in it because you're actually like taking the character through their journey instead of just reading about them doing it. Um, so yeah, so those were kind of like the main reasons why I play games. I think some other people would say like like they like the competitive edges of like multiplayer games or like first person shooters and stuff like that. I'm like, not for me in the slightest. um, but yeah, so mechanics of the games, storyline when it's available, and then probably like the puzzle solving. Because like that was kind of like I didn't realize I was making that. Um, like the three different games I've put on my channel, I think like you could kind of roughly categorize them as such because like the 14 stuff is mostly storyline that I'm looking at. Um, Legend of Zelda was mostly like mechanics and how to play the game better when it was randomized, and then Hue was like a full on like puzzle game where it was like solve the different challenges that you come across. And I mean like those I didn't realize that I was showcasing those kind of games, but that's kind of what the games that appeal to me. So, but anyway, I'm gonna cut myself off here. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next week. Until then, take care. Love you guys. What do you mean check my paychecks? Wait, I'm still the breadwinner. Oh, okay. Well, never mind about that, guys. Anyway, so we don't act so.